What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Big Think Dimension, the only gaming podcast for the modern gigabrain gamer. I'm your host, Dan Video Games, and with me, as always, are our online co-hosts, KZ Excellent from kzexcellent.com.
I like dolphins.
And Mr. Feel from Mr. Feel's Wild Ride.
Dolphins are pretty good, although sometimes they molest people.
And Bob.
There's no proof of that.
I guess dolphins are okay.
It was on King of the Hill, so it has to be true.
Oh my god, that is the worst logic. Is that true of every episode?
Most of them.
I feel like they might have had a Native American spirit represented visually in one episode, but I'm not sure. I haven't watched them all. Is that our new podcast?
Please no.
GT versus King of the Hill?
That's not even a contest. GT just gets fucking incinerated.
Propane.
Bob, you may not like propane or propane accessories, but let me tell you, that show's a lot better than GT.
Oh, I'm sure it's better than GT. I just don't care for it much myself.
Check this out. There probably isn't a pedophile in that show, and if there is, they probably handle it in a way that makes fucking sense.
I'm sure there must be an episode where there is, but they almost certainly get owned thoroughly.
Right. Because it's a responsible thing to do, not just not do anything about it and then have a shonen battle. Whatever, we're not here to talk about GT.
Thank God.
We're here to talk about video games. Well, video games
Dragon
also...
Ball GT Final Bout for the PlayStation.
Not that one.
Well, video games and also Doritos flavor shots, the nacho cheese peanut snack that you
Never
can
mind,
find
I'd
at
rather
your
talk about
local
GT.
Tub. Okay, so in GT episode 11, there was a pedophile. What were you guys expecting? That's the episode with the pedophile.
Was it only 11? God, they
Yeah,
just rolled that right out.
Dude, we only made it 13 episodes. Isn't that fucking insane?
That's
It felt like
insane.
12 years we were in
What
there.
do you mean?
It's like
What
a
do you mean,
reverse
Dan? I thought we watched 80 episodes. It felt like it.
I think it's really funny how, like, the first episode was like, we watched one episodes of both. And then the second episode was like, we watched 2 episodes of both. And then 3 was like, we're going to 4 each. We got to get through this.
I need to emerge from the hyperbolic time content.
We went too deep. It was just impossible
You
at that point.
You came out of one of those episodes and Bob is passed out. It's just you.
It's just me locked in a room with the GT DVDs, and it's the hyperbolic time chamber. There's lightning and shit everywhere and fire, and I'm like, where does it end?
And then you hear like a rapping on the window, and Xeon's just there, and he's like, I don't actually like this. I'm just defending it because people are too hard on it.
I'm just dying inside, bleeding out.
When you said rapping, I thought you meant the intro where you got to step into the Grand Tour.
Yeah, no, me too. That was a hell of a misdirect. But yeah, I guess we need to talk about what we've been playing since last week. I'll go ahead and start with someone other than me. KZ Excellent, what have you been playing since last week?
Is there anything you'd like to say about Castlevania The Adventure before we go forward?
No, but I was torn on whether or not to include certain things I've been up to in news or what I've been playing. And I think it belongs in what I've been playing, but I am not starting a podcast out with it, so...
Let's go with you being last then, so it can technically be in both.
Yeah.
It's just the bridge.
That's what I like to do. It's an appetizer for the news. It's like it whets your appetite for news just in time for us to scream at you about the podlords.
It creates a thematic bridge like the stuff in Last Jedi probably.
God fucking shit! I knew he was going that way. I heard the car swerve
Into a ravine.
Yeah.
See, this is what happens when Dan edits dozens of hours of me talking. He can hear the gears shift.
Your
true.
breathing is accelerated.
I'm like, I know the next thing you're going to say.
He's like
you
one of
piece
those
shit.
anime characters who are like, you can't hit me. I can see your muscles vibrate at a microscopic level before you attack.
Does that mean Feel is Toguro? And if he is he the older one or the younger one? I like to think KZ, you said you're like 6'3" or something, right?
No, it's okay. I posted an image saying this is me and Feel, and he's totally Elder Toguro because he's small.
Yes.
He hangs out on my shoulder.
Yeah, he becomes your literal shield.
We're the main villain of a PS2 game that's really good.
No. You were so on point up until that sentence. Every week, some new UU guy comes in to tell us how we're wrong. This week, you know what? I'm just going to read it. I'm going to go read it, and that's going to be fine.
Girl 43, right?
Let's see. Here we go. Dark Tournament makes the anime. It makes what's coming next more fascinating. I prefer the last one just because of Ryzen. I feel like Yu Yu Hakusho Forever is a better game, though I didn't compare. These are two different comments he made back to back. I just... Every week...
I was always interested in the Forever one.
I don't even know what the fuck that is. What the fuck is that?
It's like a PS2 fighting game. That came after Dark Tournament, but it did the whole show, I think.
But no
or
one...
at least the ending of the show.
No one would touch that with a fucking yardstick.
That one didn't come to America, I don't think. This one was made in America.
So, I was trying to look up the game KZ just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
If you search Yu Yu Hakusho PS2, the first result is your video.
No way. I'm checking this out myself. Holy shit. Well then, that explains that.
That is why you get all those fucking responses.
Well, Xeon, I know you took a bit of a bodying at the beginning of this podcast, but I guess thank you for lending us your copy for that video. We made $1.38 off of the Yu Yu Hakusho video this month. We got 2,600 views. I'm going to stuff that thing with motherfucking ads. 1 second. This will teach these assholes.
Live on screen.
Well, while you be a corrupt content creator.
That's a different podcast.
This past week, aside from playing the same stuff I usually play, I finally finished this Far Cry game. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how that concludes. So for those who somehow really don't want to be spoiled on Far Cry New Dawn, skip to 1720 if you'd like to skip all of the Far Cry New Dawn spoilers. So I had about 4 missions left in this game, and I picked it back up. I'm like, let's finish this. This shouldn't be too bad. And I feel like they shoved some of the gimmick stuff at the very end, which made this extra hellish. Like, there's one section where you have to basically get captured on purpose so you can sneak into an area, and you're like doing this menial task for like it's over a minute, and I'm like, man, can we just move on? And then there's another section involving like a destruction derby with cars.
Well, that sounds cool, at least.
In which I got out of the car and just started shooting at the cars as they came toward me.
So, Far Cry New Dawn is less advanced than a PS2 game for not penalizing you for that.
No, it lets him work it out however he wants to. Like it's
like Breath of the Wild. I have so much boundless freedom to just get out of my car because they only let you use the sidearm to shoot, and then I shot a car with an RPG.
It's like there's no rule that says a dog can't play basketball, except it's KZ getting out of his car in a demolition derby and just shooting the other contestants.
Are you saying that I'm this game's airbud?
Yes.
You airbudded the fuck out of the game.
That's pretty good. That mission was supposed to be like, if you win, you get to meet all the higher ups, and they actually give you a cool little sequence where they're like, all right, go to this room and pick up this gun I've laid out for you. And then you go in, and they're like, you got to make it quick. And then they slow down time and let you kill 6 or 7 important characters. Like, real quick. Do like a cool quick draw move that never shows up again.
Of course.
But after that, the final sequence comes in. Now, one thing I didn't establish in the last time I played was you got superpowers, but you get them by eating a magic apple in the game.
And do they reveal it's radioactive and you're an X-Man?
Well, Well, you eat this apple, which is of course owned by the faction of the dude from Far Cry 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The cult leader, which leads the group called New Eden. So of course he's the one that offers you an apple that gives you superpowers that makes you blessed by God. And the main villains want it because they want to be superpowered.
What? No, fuck off. The fucking superpower apple is not. What? That makes this so much dumber.
So
That the power is a tangible thing and not a weird gameplay.
It's growing on a tree that is part of God's gift.
The tree of might is in fucking Far Cry New Dawn.
KZ, does it tie into
And Devil May Cry
Assassin's
5 has the tree of might too. Why is there so many games with the tree of might?
The Tree of Might's the best DBZ movie other than Broly. That's why they figured it out.
It's really raw.
Is Urizen just turles?
I hope.
I'm getting really excited. But what? But I think Bob had a question.
Yeah, what was
is it linked to Assassin's Creed? I need to know. Are they like it's the Apple of Eden from that game?
Oh my fucking god.
No, this is some straight biblical shit.
Okay.
Hey, it can be both. It's biblical until it's aliens.
Only Watch Dogs is in the Assassin's Creed universe. Also For Honor.
What? How?
For
No.
Honor like has an Abstergo
Oh.
flash at the start, like it's an Abstergo game.
Oh god!
Mhm.
That's so
Yeah.
dumb. Get me out of this.
Did you guys even watch the Dark Tournament? If you did, then this roster size should not be a problem.
Shut
and you
the
wouldn't be
fuck up,
saying
Dan.
it's dumb or too long.
So you have to intercept the main villains who are like burning an area near that tree before they're able to like get to it. And you commence a boss fight against both of them at the same time and their entire group. This might be one of the worst encounters I've played in a game in years. I have no idea what made them think. One, these villains are really uninteresting in like every way. I've never been more bored by villains on screen than just these two girls that are like, yeah, we're gonna shoot you, I guess. We're crazy. I think I put 350 bullets into one of their heads, and they still didn't die. They
Holy
made these
fuck.
things.
Is this the
these
Division?
things are tankier than fucking Destiny bosses.
So they're 20% as tanky as a normal enemy in Anthem.
Yeah.
Yes,
We'll get to that though.
which seems insane to me. Just how this is before they get.
Yeah. Did they
They
get
don't
the
even
magic
get
fruit?
an apple. They didn't get the magic fruit.
They don't have
just-
any devil fruit powers. Okay.
No. They have a flamethrower and a shotgun. It also just wasn't fun because there is a constant stream of enemies, of dogs, of a helicopter shooting you from the air.
Do they have do they have Army of Two style face masks at least?
Yeah, one of them had a helmet, but if you shoot it enough, it gets blown off, and then they're just normal, and then you're still putting 300 bolts into their eyeball, and you've only taken out 2 chunks of their health.
But did they eat the apple first?
No, they did not.
So what the fuck? I still can't handle that the superpower apple is a thing.
The villain plan was this guy's like, I'll show you this fruit my dad has that he figured out will make you super powerful, but you gotta burn down our village because I'm weird and crazy and a villain too. So after you take out the assumed 2 main villains, you have to confront the cult leader and his son eats the apple. But because he is not blessed by God like you, he turns into a dark monster, and your final boss is like a giant heartless.
Are you fucking for real?
They throw me into this cave, which, by the way, I thought crashed because it was on a black screen for 35 seconds. I think the game just had to load and didn't know that it had to show me what loading is. It goes in. This dude is now a 14-foot tall, giant hunk of black flesh with, like, glowing armpits and, like, glowy parts that you're supposed to shoot. And you just run around this cave shooting him. But his health is so high that you have to go to the other end of the cave and constantly reload your ammo and then run away because he's about to stomp on you. And then he like throws rocks and energy blasts, and you kill him and you win.
I'm having a stroke.
Everything you've been describing for the last 7 minutes sounds like you taking a Borderlands 1 character into an encounter drastically underleveled. Where it's like, it took 700 fucking bullets.
I mean, the difference here is they like rank the enemies, and my guns were fairly up to date. The only rank above it was the ones where they're like, all right, either get an insane amount of crafting stuff or pay us money. And rest assured, I'm not giving them, and I didn't give them money for this.
Yeah.
So you best believe I have no interest in that. But it was that last boss is just a bit of a nightmare, just in the fact that he's totally stoppable because they just have a mountain of every ammo type in the game on one side of this arena. So you just run over to it, you hold the button a bunch of times, then run away, then shoot him a little bit.
This is insane. Who would?
If they were gonna
why?
go this fucking stupid with superpower apples from God, and if you're not pure of heart, you become a monster, why not just give you fucking energy blasts and you become fucking Goku at the end?
Look at this fun. It's just a big dark mass with like glowy fucking sides and armpits that take more damage when you shoot them.
Oh my god, that looks so awful. I don't even.
This is a lot like one of the last bosses in Deadly Premonition, but even fucking stupider, and not in a good way like Deadly Premonition.
Yeah, like you beat him and he dies, and the dad's like, "Oh man, I guess I was, I thought I was doing God's work, but I'm causing only chaos. Kill me." And then they're like, "You get the choice to kill him, that you can do or don't." And then you go back to your base. They give you an ending. You go, "This is some aggressive mid."
Did you play anything else, Casey?
No, that's it.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, what's up?
Did you play, or actually, let's go to Feel. Hey,
Sure.
Feel.
Okay, so first of all, I played more Enderall. That's still good.
Oh, okay. And for those who didn't tune in last week, Enderall is a mod for Skyrim that
It is a
completely
total
rehauls it.
conversion mod. It is on Steam. If you already own Skyrim, you just one click installs in a separate folder, all that stuff.
And if it asks to install Bonzi Buddy, you say yes.
Yes, correct. You always want Bonsai Buddy. He's very useful.
Very helpful.
The game from my backlog I tried to play, because I did try to do that, was called Age of Decadence. And I went, when I booted it, and it immediately goes, "Now, this is a real man's RPG. You're going to die and die and die, and one guy can fuck you. You're not a hero. You're just..." It's like a long time ago, a bunch of episodes back, when I made fun of people who like write a story where nothing happens and think they're clever.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that. So and then I tried to play it for like an hour, and I'm like, yeah, this is difficult, but it's just really boring because you don't actually have that much things you can do. So it's kind of just like you die really easily, and RNG is stacked in a way where you get bad streaks really easily. And also all your shit breaks constantly, and everybody hates you.
Oh, wow. This game sounds like it's really subverting my asshole.
What does that mean? I subverted my asshole. I'm actually peeing.
But then I saw that Toho Luna Nights by Team Ladybug, who made Pharaoh Rebirth Plus.
Pharaoh
And they
Adventure
also made-
Rebirth, yeah.
They also made the
Wait.
Konosuba promo game that came with the DVDs.
Mhm.
You can get, it's on a bunch of download sites. And the Jack Brothers Metroidvania that Atlas made as a promotional game. It's like 30 minutes long, I think.
Yeah, they
And
Make
they
really
are
good stuff.
currently making the Record of Lodos War Metroidvania with art by Hidari, who was an Atelier artist.
we played a
Yeah.
Record of Lodos War game in the last week. Make sure you bring that up, okay?
Oh my god, I forgot.
But Toho Luna Nights is a Metroidvania starring Sakuya, Remilia Scarlet's maid, and she is basically and if you don't know, if you've never played a Team Ladybug game, they have really good music, they control really well, and they look gorgeous. There's a very unique sprite work style to their games,
And it's very fluid and nice. Yeah.
It's kind of similar to Momodora, Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight. If you've ever played that, it's kind of popular.
I like to think of the art style as a sort of slightly higher res Neo Geo aesthetic, kind of like Metal Slug, but higher res and more anime, looking, more colorful.
And like things don't have outlines.
Right.
Usually.
That I can remember.
That's an element of it.
Pharaoh Rebirth is actually really great. We have a quick play of that if people want to check it out. We haven't done a video on Luna Nights yet. I know Bob's been playing it too.
You're Sakuya, who is a maid, and in Toho, if you're unfamiliar with the Toho franchise, everybody is ludicrously powerful. Everybody can beat Jiren. Every single Toho character can beat Jiren. Yes, they can, KZ. One character's power is they control the gap, which is the gap between things, and it can be anything. Any gap. It's an abstract concept.
Yeah, they're what, they all have JoJo's style powers, okay.
Like, she's immortal because she manipulates the gap between life and death.
Wow, okay.
But anyway, Sakuya is Dio. She is an explicit Dio reference because her main weapon is throwing knives and her power is to freeze time. And even is visually the same thing when she freezes time and throws her knives. They hang in air until time unfreezes like JoJo.
Yeah, I can even jump on top of them using platforms. It's pretty good.
Anyway, this game is really good. So you got a bunch of mechanics at the very... You don't have time freeze at the start of the game because the plot is that Remilia Scarlet, Sakuya's master, who is a vampire, got bored, so she created a fictional space and pulled her into it to basically force her to play this game. And it limited her powers. So you get time freeze relatively shortly into the game. But until then, you have time slow, which you hold the fire button to charge, and then you release it, and time is slowed for 3 seconds. But you get your time stop back, and it's on a meter, so you freeze time, and whenever you move or take any action, it goes down by, and the bigger the action you take, the more it goes down. And you don't have a default that you don't have any attacks that don't use resources. Your normal attacks use your MP since they're projectiles. Like imagine like you're playing like Arya Asaro and you have Soma can throw the spear and it takes his MP that slowly recharges. Her knives are like that.
Right.
But if she throws them while time is frozen, they take time. And this also goes for all the sub-weapons. They take MP if you use them in unfrozen time, and time stop if you use them in frozen time.
Well.
And somehow, despite being able to freeze time at will and also slow down time, the game makes that you simultaneously feel godlike and also fair. Every single thing in that game is perfectly designed, taking those two mechanics into account.
Yeah, it looks really incredible.
It's a lot better than fucking Time Spinner, which is also a time manipulation-based Metroidvania, except your powers suck and you never get any more, and they never do anything interesting with it at all.
Bob, do you have any commentary to add on to that?
He's 100% right.
Okay, because I know you also played both.
Time Spinner, no.
I bet it's raw.
So in the first 5 minutes, Luna Knight says, if you freeze time when you're in the water, you're stuck because the water is also frozen and you can't move through it.
Yeah, no, it's great.
That one interaction is more interesting than anything in Time Spinner.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of how Bayonetta 1, like, they found interesting things to do with time powers, like running on water and stuff like that.
That's true.
And then Bayonetta 2 did nothing.
A funny thing is, and here's a minor spoiler, every upgrade in the game is a knife.
Yes.
Because Sakuya's thing is that she throws knives. So when you get Slide, it's just a knife she ties to her shoe. And
yeah, it doesn't make much sense, but it works.
When you get the ability to break boxes later on, it's just a drill knife. But by far the best, and the stages are really well designed. There's a lot of neat little mechanics. It looks really pretty. It's a Toho game, so the music is incredible. They all have incredible music. The bosses are by far the best part of this game. So there's a graze mechanic in this because there's a graze mechanic in Toho. And there's two types of grazing, blue grazing and red grazing. And red grazing is what you do if time is frozen and it just increases your time count. Blue grazing increases your MP, time, and health, and it happens when you get too close to enemies or shots when they're active. So some late game bosses have moves that you have to graze if you want health back, which is, I think, a lot more interesting than you knocked 20% of my health off. Time for me to puke out health restores everywhere. And it starts doing really interesting things, like it starts giving things colors, where purple things are not affected by your time stop. Green things only move during your time stop. They will not move normally. Yellow things reverse in direction during your time stop. So one of the last bosses will throw an unavoidable wall of shots at you, but some of them are yellow. So you can freeze time and make those shots go backwards and make the undodgeable wall of shots have gaps in it.
Nice.
And during the last boss, you're constantly freezing and unfreezing time and slowing time in order to dodge all this stuff and graze it, and it's so fun. It also feels really, really good to control, which I'm not sure is because the game is really responsive or if because I played it on a monitor with like a 1 millisecond response time instead of a TV.
That certainly helps, but I also guarantee you it's not 1 millisecond. They lie about that shit. But I'm sure it's vastly better than a fucking TV. I'll tell you that.
But that was my spiel since I talked for like 10 minutes. I didn't play anything else, so if Bob has anything to say about the game, he can go.
Sure.
Hey, Bob, in the future, interject your comments with this so that way it's not an 8-minute block.
Look, it was so much. I just was like, okay.
Bob was overwhelmed by your
Bob's
aura.
just like, I played this game. It was fun.
Bob's like, my body can't move. Why? It's just everything goes black and white as Phil walks towards him.
Yeah,
Phil starts crackling with dark energy. He's like, Bob, you maroon, you nincompoop, you absolute moron.
But yeah, I feel like I have a really high standard for Metroidvanias, and
yeah, we're assholes around these parts.
This is like one of the only ones I like. This one, Momo Medora, and that's about it for indie Metroidvanias that I actually enjoy. Feel like for Reverse guys also make some other good ones. Like I played through their Konosuba game and their the Jack one for Atlas,
Mm-hmm.
and those were both solid. But this is definitely like a step above those.
Yeah, you can look at it and be like, oh man, they finally got to go all in on it.
This makes me wish that somebody would just give them enough money to make like an Aria of Sorrow scale game.
Yeah, that's.
I'm hoping that's what Record of Lodos ends up being.
Yes, because that one has like, here's some outside guys we're giving you, so which makes me think it'll be bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I played other stuff this week. I could talk about that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I played the Berserk game on Dreamcast.
Oh, Sword of the Berserk. That game's a real banger. Let's talk about that, Bob.
Sure.
I've seen that game. It's raw.
It is pretty raw. There are a ton of cutscenes. Like, it just starts and you're watching a movie basically for 10 minutes.
Real quick, we gotta cover what the fuck this game is. Okay,
Sure.
so it's not. It's barely 2000. Okay, or late 1999.
Yeah, something like that.
And it's a Dreamcast game, so the PS2 isn't even out. And this thing's like, 3D graphics are so good. Let's fill this game with hours of cutscenes. So, like, I think it's 60% cutscene by mass?
Probably.
We gotta get all the Kino Berserk plot in.
The best part is Colonel is a character in it. Colonel from Metal Gear Solid, so it's Paul Aiding. And he's just doing the Colonel voice, and I appreciate it. But Bob, tell them more about this game.
Yeah, it's basically it's set during the Black Swordsman stuff for Guts. I have no idea if it's actually
excuse me.
based on
You
the
said
manga.
you said Guts. That's not the name of the main character of this game. Bob, will you tell
They keep
them?
calling him Gutsu.
Gatsu.
Gutsu.
Gatsu. Gatsu.
In the English track, yeah, it's fully dubbed in English. Everyone else's name is said normally, but he's Gutsu.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's
I haven't read Berserk, so I've only really watched the first anime, and I think, which covers up until the time skip stuff. And I always wanted to
Berserk
watch.
is weird. There's like an arc before the Golden Age arc, and then it skips ahead.
Right, and that's all I've seen. So then it's really cool to actually be able to see like this animated and stuff. And honestly, it looks better than that like CG anime they made a year ago or 2 years ago, because that's one of the most hideous things ever. And this
Sword of the Berserk has an original plot, I think.
okay.
It seems that way.
Right, I would totally expect it. It feels like it could be a couple filler episodes or
Right,
something.
and that's the thing.
Which is
like,
weird because the next game on the PS2 does not.
That's cool.
Like it
Yeah,
has, like it covers a bunch of, it covers like 5 volumes of the manga and also has original stuff interjected in, which most of it makes sense because I've watched someone play and it's like, we're covering this one arc, but also we want to let you fight the big strong guy from the story, so here he is who fights you.
But yeah, like the game itself carries it in a way where it really seems like both. It both seems like a completely original plot, and it seems like a two-parter. Like it's so anime episode plot structure.
Yeah, it does seem like a fully segregated town from anything else with their own problems going on.
It's the problem of the week.
that the hero happens to have wandered into.
I mean, the game literally starts and you're on the road and somebody gets attacked. That's
Yes.
the opening cutscene. You help them and then they go, I'm going to the nearby village. See you there. And then you go there because Mute Lady, I don't watch Berserk. She makes a sound and Puck interprets that as, wow, sounds like she wants to go there. Keep in mind, Puck sounds nothing like that, but simultaneously, Puck is voiced by Liquid Snake.
What?
But he sounds nothing like Liquid Snake. He has sort of his Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Leonardo tone because he's also the voice actor for Leonardo. So he has a bit of that, but also trying to sound high-pitched. This game's weird.
Yeah, also, I hope that Guts isn't like... Guts isn't so... like as stupid as he comes across in this. He literally leaves Casca alone several times and she's always immediately captured. Like he's just like, I'm gonna leave her in this room, and then someone comes and captures her. And it happens twice in like the 3 hours I played. So if anyone can tell me that doesn't happen, I'd love to hear it.
I don't know anything about Berserk except that Griffith did nothing wrong.
Yeah, that's what sociopaths say.
I guess.
Oh.
Jesus.
Silicon Valley's opinion on Berserk.
I'm sure that Death Note or Light Yagami did nothing wrong either.
Griffith is worse than Light Yagami by an
sure.
order of about 700,000.
It's true.
Is he the Jiren of assholes?
Is
Yes.
He's basically the most awful person in anime.
All of these things could be used to describe Silicon Valley CEOs. The Jiren of assholes. That's not true wealth.
But yeah, it's like it's a 3D hack and slash made before like Onimusha and stuff, and it feels super rough.
Before Onimusha, before Devil May Cry, runs at 20 frames per second and uses frame blending to try to be its motion blur so that way it looks smoother to your eye. Because he whips that sword hella fast, you guys. If they didn't put this frame blending on it, it would just look really jarring and bad. You'd be like, where is his sword at any given time?
He sheathes it in like 2 frames. That's insane.
Like, seriously, he swings it across his entire body with effectively 3 frames rendered in game. If it was running at a proper frame rate, it would be like, 9, 12. But no, it's just like sword above head, sword in middle of abdomen, sword all the way down. Because it runs at 20 fucking frames per second.
Well, good old Ocarina of Time made that allowed.
God damn it. This is going to come up every podcast. But yeah, we are you good to move on? Can we?
I guess so. Yeah,
Okay, we played a lot of Dreamcast games. We were doing a burn-in test on a certain device we got that removes the disk drive and allows us to play SD cards. So we're doing a burn-in test to make sure it's going to keep working.
So I played that Record of Lodoss War game on the Dreamcast as well.
Did you guys even know there was a fucking Record of Lodoss War on a game on the Dreamcast?
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know shit about Record of Lodoss War
I don't
except
know
that
what
it
the
has a
fuck that
girl
is.
with 3 eyes in it. It's one of those fantasy animes from the 90s that was people just writing down their
D&D campaigns?
their D&D campaigns like Slayers and
Mhm.
Sorceress, Stabber,
Mhm.
Orphan.
Yep.
Right.
Don't talk about Orphan. I don't think that's real.
It is real. It inspired Dominic Deegan.
God fucking anyways, so this Record of Lodoss War game, I want you guys to imagine Diablo 1, right?
Oh no.
But like
Then you're done. Stop.
you're done.
That's it.
It's just 3D graphics Diablo 1.
Thank you everybody for listening.
There's really nothing else to tell you. You play as a completely original character in this.
Yeah, it's weird because
You make your own character.
The whole
and-
thing was like Lodoss. You would expect they take some of the iconic character designs because no one knows anything else about that show.
Mhm.
But nah, just you play as this resurrected knight.
What else did we play? I guess we can combine our what we played segments since we both played a lot of the Dreamcast stuff. We played Psychic Force 2012, which is the sequel to the PS1/arcade game Psychic Force. Psychic Force is a really cool game. I enjoyed a lot, and it's one of my favorite, Kuso PS1 fighters, where it's not good enough where you would ever consider becoming competitive at it, but it's really fun and interesting. So in that same category, you could probably put Ehrgeiz at the top end of quality and at the lowest end of quality Evil Zone.
Evil Zone's Kino though.
Yeah, Evil Zone is Kino, and so is Psychic Force, but I
They
wouldn't...
just stole the plot from that terrible Clamp manga X.
Guess what Psychic Force does?
Steal the plot of a terrible Clamp manga.
Yeah,
With the same one.
it has the battle cubes that appear throughout the city in the movie X. I've only seen the movie, I haven't read the manga or watched the anime. So it has the battle cubes that appear throughout Tokyo, like in the movie. And you are psychic people who do battle in them. Imagine a side perspective fighting game where your D-pad just makes you move in all 8 directions because you're flying at all times.
Oh no.
It's pretty cool, honestly, but Psychic Force 2012 just its characters aren't as neat. They didn't dub it into English. It's just disappointing in a lot of ways. Like Psychic Force, the original one, it looks impressive for its time. Psychic Force 2012 doesn't look impressive for the Dreamcast. Maybe the arcade is better, but I doubt it because I don't know. It's likely that they just used the Dreamcast hardware for the arcade. But yeah, no. Psychic Force anime shit, really cool. Check it out sometime. It's like the psychic version of Evil Zone. That's about all I got to say about that.
I wonder if the PS2 version is better.
I don't know. Maybe someday we'll find out. I hope we will.
It's called Psychic Force Complete.
Yep. Yeah, but it never came over to the States. So that's why I don't know.
Speaking of ripoffs for a second, I just want to ask, have any of you ever read Real Bout High School?
No.
It was like the first manga ever localized, like in the late 90s by fucking Tokyo Pop. And I will always remember it because the protagonists are just color shifted Mai Shiranui and Kyoku Sanagi.
Wow. Yeah, no, I don't think I've actually read that. I feel like I've heard about it.
We also played at the request of a friend, Zombie Revenge?
I can't remember. It was.
I'm gonna look it up just to be sure it's called that. Bob, can you tell them about that game?
It's hard to talk.
Okay,
Imagine.
so imagine it's a top down. It's a 3D. Okay, it started as an arcade game, so think arcade game. And I've confirmed it is called Zombie Revenge.
Okay.
You and your teammates need to fight off zombies as you make your way through environments and need to catch the evil Zed, which is some spooky faced dude who communicates with you through computers. But it's arcadey, so there's a timer at the top middle, and your only attack, your main attack anyway, is just fucking shooting them with guns. So in an action game where you would expect a variety of combat options, it's just 2 to 4 people shooting fucking zombies
Hey, you
with
have
guns.
a punch button too.
Yeah, but it's not as practical. It's not as effective. Every zombie seemed to take like 4 bullets. I don't even know how many punches.
Right, but you had limited bullets.
Yeah, it's true. So it's like some weird arcade version of a Resident Evil. It's really strange. But I thought it was hilarious because you really would expect more options for combat in a game like this rather than you can punch them or shoot the fuck out of them. But we also checked out Cannon Spike, which for those who didn't know, Cannon Spike is a game based on is it Cammy?
Yeah, Cammy.
Yeah, it's
and
Cammy's
Charlie.
attack. I'm just trying to make sure I don't fuck up the names. But yeah, it's named after Cammy's attack, and it features Cammy and Charlie from fucking Street Fighter Alpha. But it's weirdly like, how would you describe this one? It's another arcade game. This one made by Capcom, of course.
Think of it. It would be a 2-stick shooter in these.
A twin stick shooter,
shooter.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't have that yet.
They didn't have a second stick,
So there's just a button to hold yourself in place, shooting in a direction, like be able to move while shooting that same direction.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just sort of free shoot and shoot wherever you're walking.
So what is it exactly that you're fighting in that game? Like, are the enemies
zombies, robots, people, everything?
It's just a hodgepodge of fucking bullshit. This is actually published by Capcom, but I believe it is developed by someone else entirely. And yeah, it kind of shows qualitatively.
You can play as Mega Man though.
You can play as Mega Man
and B Hood from Darkstalkers.
From Darkstalkers. Doesn't she also show up in the Marvel, like Marvel vs. Capcom 2?
Yeah, she's there.
Yeah, so that was the first time I saw her in a game, I think, or at least with a 3D model. Tosh walked into the fucking room right as Bob booted up a new game as B Hood, as in like Robin Hood. Wait, no, as in what is she supposed
Little
to be?
Red Riding Hood.
Little Red Riding Hood. Sorry, Robin Hood. Anyways, so she's got the
Robin
full
B.
outfit.
Hood.
Yeah, that actually, no joke. That fucking Jackie Chan movie named Robin B. Hood is why I was fucking that up just now. That is the dumbest fucking name for that movie, and by the end of it, it still doesn't make goddamn sense as the name.
Do we have
whatever.
to watch that for a podcast?
No. Wait.
Put it on the list.
No.
It's amazing.
Look, someday
It's great.
Someday me and Bob, we're gonna get our freedom and we're gonna do our Jackie Chan podcast.
GT versus Jackie Chan Adventures podcast.
Okay, Jackie
Why do you
Chan.
keep suggesting things where GT will lose?
Because
wait,
he
that's
keeps
everything.
Right. That's the problem. So imagine Little Red Riding Hood. She just looks exactly like what you're imagining, right? Except for she has a giant fucking Uzi. And Tosh just walks in the room right as Bob boots up the new game and just looks at it and goes, what?
And the best part, she's got a little scooter. Like she
Like-
just rides around.
like
Because everyone else is on skates.
Is it like a rascal scooter?
Yeah, it's kind of like a Razor scooter back in the day, I think they were called. It's like that, right, Bob? Where it's got the handle on top.
just
and
got
you
the
turn.
handle.
Yeah.
And like, oh yeah, it's the skateboard with the handlebar.
That's
Yeah.
raw.
Yeah, no, it's pretty. She's pretty fucking raw, which is why Tosh was floored when bombarded as her first piece of information about this game. But yeah, that game seemed pretty low quality,
Yeah.
but it has Cammy and it's got Mega Man. That's all you need. Bob, did you try out any other Dreamcast games?
Nothing too notable I can think of.
Just a weird mech fighting game. That thing was
that
weird.
fighting game was really weird. Yeah.
Did you play Blue Stinger?
No, we have not checked out Blue Stinger yet.
I don't even know what that one is.
At some point in time,
I think it was a launch game.
At some point in time, we're going to be doing a retro game roulette of the Dreamcast, so that way people can stop by and recommend Dreamcast games for us to play.
I'm sure everyone will recommend only the best.
Yeah, like always.
And then I can swoop in and save you by throwing down money so you have to play Dynamite Deca starring Bruce Willis.
Yep. Yep. That's a game. That's a real game. I think it came over as Dynamite Cop? ? I don't know.
I think it came over as Die Hard Arcade.
Well, yeah, but when it came to the home release on the Dreamcast, they lost the license. So, but yeah.
The funny part is that didn't stop them at all when they made Project Cross Zone. And they just made that character look exactly like Bruce Willis.
What the fuck? That's a power move.
To the point where, like, they could be sued. Let me try and
Nice.
find a fucking picture.
That's real cool. And me, of course, faced with all of these options of games I can finally check out, I played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 and Crazy Taxi 1. Because that's what you do with the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Take
played
me
a distressing
KFC.
amount of those. Is me and the other guy we were hanging out was just like look on like, oh yeah, that's still Crazy Taxi 1.
Yeah, Dan's.
See, I posted it. It could not be more blatant.
Oh yeah, let me check that out.
But it's like a younger Bruce Willis.
It's true. That's great. He's got like a full head of hair. Well, almost a full head of hair. That's really great.
You know, it's weird that you can draw a direct line between Dynamite Cop and Shenmue to Yakuza.
Oh, really? I didn't realize.
I mean, in terms of gameplay, like, it's kind of both of them combined.
Huh. That's cool.
I don't think I've actually
'Cause
played Dynamite Cop.
Cop has the, like, you grab somebody and shake the salt shaker into their eyes, which you can do
Oh,
in
yeah.
Yakuza.
Yeah, it does have a lot of that. But yeah, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, it's all right. School 2 is still a highly overrated level, and I spent most of my time playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Think about all the fucking boomers out there who are like, number 2's the best. Because Jesus, just Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 feels immensely better to play. Like, it's properly 60 frames per second. It's more responsive. It feels better. The animations look way better. The levels are bigger, etc., etc. I just spent most of my time thinking about that. Whereas Crazy Taxi 1, I spent most of my time playing that thinking, man, someday I'll play Crazy Taxi 2 again. I just played it for 5 minutes, something like 20 years ago, and I went, why is there a fucking jump? I'm out.
You should give it a chance.
Oh, no, he's right.
You should give Crazy Taxi 3 a chance, the one that's like in Las Vegas and it's called like High Roller.
Yeah. Crazy Taxi 3 High Roller. It's an Xbox exclusive in that era where Sega was making Xbox exclusives. I don't own it, but I planned on buying it because I am a pretty big fan of Crazy Taxi 1, and as such, I'll buy the others. Because I'm Dan. Hey, man. We're going to do our Crazy Taxi month. Bob's going to love it.
There's not enough games, no.
No, we'll just play every version, including the mobile games, which are idle games.
Oh my god.
Hey, Bob.
What's
I
up?
spent $2,500 on this cabinet.
Oh no! How did you fit that in my house?
Of course, it's in your house.
I got
in the
rid of
middle
your
of your living room.
I got rid
Now
of your
listen, Bob,
stove.
You don't want Dan to tell you how he figured out how to capture footage from it.
You know, that seems like a pretty good transitional phrase. I would go ahead and take this time to move straight into what I've been doing this week, unless you have something else you wanted to talk about, Bob.
Go for it, Dan.
Living up to the meme that I am, the Famicom Disk System RAM adapter arrived for us to play Famicom Disk System games.
This is bad. You had this in the notes, and I was telling Field, dude, I don't know what the fuck any of these words are.
So
Usually I'm running a bit, but this is bad.
I can recap what the fuck is up with this thing real fast. So before the NES launched in America, back in Japan, when it was, it's called the Famicom over there was a silicon shortage for cartridges, and cartridges were really expensive in general. So Nintendo thought, hey, why don't we make a floppy format? So they made a weird little floppy drive you hooked up to the Famicom, and the games cost like a third as much or a fourth as much because they were that much cheaper to print onto floppies. A lot of the classic games, like Zelda, Metroid, Zelda 2, Castlevania 1 and 2, were all actually originally made for the Famicom disk system. So that's how they featured saving in most of them to begin with. So Metroid wasn't designed originally to have a 40-character password. It had a floppy it could save to. Another thing that's interesting about this is they have built into so it's two parts. One's a red little box that you stick the floppy in, and it has a cable come out of it. And you can either, and this is the weirdest fucking thing about this device in my mind, you can either hook it to the wall with an AC adapter, or you can power your floppy drive with batteries, because they were afraid Japanese households wouldn't have enough wall outlet slots. So you take your battery-powered cartridge or floppy drive, you hook it up to your Famicom, and the way it hooks in is it connects to a thing called the RAM adapter, which goes in your cartridge slot. And what that thing would do is it would just have more memory, so it could fill the things on the floppy end of that, so it didn't have to load every screen. And it also had some additional sound hardware. It has FM sound. So these classic games you're used to, like Metroid, Zelda 2, Zelda 1, the original compositions and everything actually sound different from what we're used to. Because when they eventually, years later, the prices of cartridges went back down, and the stability of these fucking floppy disk drive systems was proven to be questionable at best, Nintendo just hard transitioned into porting all their games back to cartridge. But there was a 2-year period where Nintendo was hardballing the fuck out of Japanese devs, forcing them to do floppy games instead of cartridge games. And there are some games that are just lost on that format. Not everything came back over. Even I think Nintendo exclusives, there are some that didn't come back over to cartridge.
Like Mario 2.
Fucking Mario 2. Fucking Mario 2. I hate
game that it's good that game is lost because it's bad.
Yeah, they're called the lost levels for a goddamn reason. Fuck them. But yeah, in any case, so we got the part that plugs into the cartridge port, and then there's a little thing you can get on I think it's on 3dscapture.com, but it's called a FDS stick, which is Famicom Disk System stick. You just plug that in, and you can hold literally every Famicom Disk System game on a single fucking device. Okay, so step 1. This thing doesn't ship with a fucking manual, so I had to sit there and try to figure out how the fuck it works, and then I found a goddamn YouTube video that explains it. I'm like, okay, that solves one problem. Step 2. Somehow our highly premium FPGA hardware-based NES replacement, the analog NT Mini, which currently sells on eBay for $1,500 fucking dollars used. We bought it for $550. There's a reason. It's complicated. Doesn't fucking work with this thing.
Yeah, I knew as soon as I saw that. I'm like, oh, the NT Mini doesn't work with the.
Yeah, for some fucking reason. They made a highly premium aluminum-clad FPGA hardware-based replacement NES, and the fucking thing doesn't fucking work with EverDrives. It doesn't fucking work with the Famicom disk system, and I'm not even talking about, that's not an off-brand part. That is a normal Nintendo peripheral. They just didn't design this thing to work correctly with. And then I sat here this whole time, and I'm like, is our RAM adapter broken? Is the stick not working? Am I still doing this wrong somehow? No. I look up a YouTube video, and then the initial firmware for the NT Mini, it didn't work at all. And then they patched it a bit, and it worked some of the time.
Wow, that means their website's just a fucking lie, because
Yeah.
the analog NT Mini webpage says it is compatible with the Famicom disk system.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like their claim that it's 100% accurate and that it's cycle accurate and all this bullshit they say is in fact patently false, and someday they're gonna get fucking sued for it, so they need to cut it out. But anyway, our replacement NES device shows up next month, or by the time it is now March, this month, hopefully. And it is compatible with all those things I just said. Thank God. So that's most of what I was dealing with this last weekend. Dan tries to play a fucking video game, but then gets made into a chump.
Chump video games.
Does the Super NT work with EverDrives?
The Super NT is great. It's a lot better than the Analog NT Mini. It works with EverDrives, and it has a jailbreak firmware where you can play games directly off of the SD card that's inserted in the system, but a lot of Super NES games have very special chips on them, and it can't play any of those. Even launch games do, which is depressing. Like, nothing says we made underpowered hardware like packing a chip in on a launch game.
Yeah, this is something I learned recently, which is people like to mark the N64 as when third parties kind of abandoned Nintendo. They abandoned Nintendo because they all fucking hated Nintendo the entire time.
Oh yeah, I mean Nintendo had,
because during the NES days they had all those fucking exclusivity mandates, which eventually got broken in court, and then the Super Mario World has special chips in it beyond the standard Super Nintendo shit. So the launch game makes all their third-party games that they were making at the time just look like shit.
Yeah. I mean, to stay competitive on the SNES, you kind of needed to pack in some sort of hardware. Like, even Kirby Superstar uses a special chip. Even Pilot Wings uses a special chip. It's a really screwed up situation. Nintendo even did monopolistic stuff in Japan for the original Famicom when it came out. And it's great because they were buddy-buddy with, who was it? I think it was Namco. They were like, Namco was one of their first third-party developers, and as such, they got their contracts written in such a way so that it was really generous. And when those contracts ran up, the Namco boss met up with Nintendo's boss, and they're like, hey, can I get those really nice things you gave us in the first time again? And Nintendo's like, no, we have way more devs now. And Namco's like, this is bullshit, and immediately goes to the press, and they're like, Nintendo is a bunch of monopolistic fucks. These anti-trade bastards. We need to take them down. And I'm just like, wow. Fucking video games. But I'm excited for the new NES, which is called the Retro USB AVS, which multiple people online have confirmed works really well with this shit. I can't wait for that to show up and for me to sell this over fucking priced fucking piece of shit that doesn't work with the actual accessories for the fucking console, official or otherwise, that should fucking work. Because all I want is Castlevania 2 with a load time every other screen. Bob, don't judge.
That sounds awful.
There's something fucking weird, you guys. There's something real fucking weird about an NES game where it's like loading. I'm like, wait, my brain's hurt.
There are NES cartridge games that have to load.
Yeah, this takes a chunk of time. It's impressive. Also, a lot of these Famicom Disk System games, you'll insert Disc B first, or Side B, because it's a dual-sided floppy. You'll insert Side B first. It'll be like, here's the title screen and some fancy music. Switch to Side A, dipshit. Like, Side B will just be the title screen, or at best, the title screen and then the file select. So then once you select the file, it's like, okay, flip the disc over, you idiot. What are you doing on this side? It's like, man, this is fucking insane. Yeah. So I'm really glad that thing will be coming this month, and hopefully all this shit will be over. But hey guys, I think we should move on to news, and I think you know what that means.
The Podlords.
Holy fuck, the Podlords! We need to thank the Podlords, Bob.
I love popcorn.
Whoa.
The Podlords for this episode of the Big Think Dimension are Danny Richardson, Notgag, Ely Broyles, and Lady Popcorn. Thank you very much for our Podlords. our podlords. Thank the podlords.
Thank you, Podlord.
Thank you, Podlords.
Pizza Hut has a thing called K-Papas, which I could not stop fucking laughing at because I'm like, Papa, why? Because it's the word K concatenated with papas, and I can't fucking deal with that. Bob,
Is it like a Pizzone?
What the fuck
No,
is a
but I want,
it's like...
I want Field to guess. Wait, unless he just looked it up. Are you cheating?
Yeah, I already cheated because
Googled
I
it.
never fucking heard of that.
Okay, Bob,
I
tell.
don't know what it is.
Tell KZ, Bob, tell
Wait, are
KZ
you
what a
in one of the-
K-Papa is.
Are you in one of those blighted wastelands that's like a test market?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what's going on?
I would consider the Florida Panhandle a perfect place to do human subject testing.
It's where they have to test. It's where they have to test the new fast food stuff because they can't roll something out in Los Angeles that makes you grow a third eye.
Right. But Bob, tell KZ what the K-Papas are.
It's a tater tot. That's it.
It's a giant tater tot that is packed with ranch.
You can dip it in
Oh,
ranch.
it's like one of those. It's like one
Peppered.
of those mashed potato bites.
Yep.
No, you're giving it too much credit. It's a tater tot.
I mean, he's right. It's got that weird grit of cuboid potato that you expect from a tater tot.
but there's peppers in it too.
But there's what?
Green peppers or something.
What?
Yeah, that was.
Was the what? Wait, there was green peppers?
There's some sort of peppers in it. Yeah.
It's jalapeno.
Okay.
Is it
Yeah,
really?
it's jalapeno.
Yeah, it's hardly noticeable.
I
It's
hate jalapenos and I couldn't fucking taste it.
If it's filled with like fat, like ranch, that's just negating the heat, so you wouldn't be able to really tell.
The ranch is a dipping cup. I ate quite a few without the ranch. I think it was like 2, maybe 3, and then I used the ranch because I wanted any flavor at all.
No, they're basically just unflavored tater tots.
And before I get a comment that says, Dan, you don't like jalapenos? Jalapenos can be fine. I just think a lot of people make shitty stuff with jalapenos. That's all I'm saying. That and cayenne pepper is just objectively a better pepper. Bring it.
Some big statements here.
No. I think
jalapenos are good if you. I mean, I have a bush out in my yard, and when I need jalapenos, I go get those.
yeah. I
And
mean,
those are fantastic.
they're fine, but cayenne's better. Bob, why are you laughing?
I don't.
This is
Look,
just.
I agree, but it's still.
Why are you booing? You know I'm right.
I like Red Hots.
Yeah, Frank's Red Hot. It's real good.
That's cayenne pepper. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cayenne pepper. I don't know
No, I
what.
was talking about the candy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I bet you were. You.
I mean, I like cayenne, but
What? What does that mean, Dan?
I like cayenne, but what?
Jesus.
No, it's fine. We're good. Let's actually move on to the news. Hey, Bob, you got some news written down here.
Oh, I do.
Bob's
I
trademark
didn't-
phrase. Oh no.
I didn't expect to be called first. What a fool I was.
We're gonna ask you to read this passage in class.
So the European rating board just rated Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered. Like,
Fucked up. They have to say it like that.
Yeah.
Campaign remastered.
so my assumption is this year we're going to get a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 5 or whatever they're on now. 4? I guess it'll be 4. And so that's why we won't be seeing multiplayer Modern Warfare remastered, and we'll just be seeing a remastered campaign, and you'll have new multiplayer that's Modern Warfare.
Is this the one where you
That's my
like
guess.
shot people in an airport?
Yes.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yes.
Okay.
God, what was the name of that?
remember,
Something
no
Russian? No Russian.
It was
yeah.
Raw, I heard.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
It was a good campaign.
yeah. I actually like that campaign. I know online a lot of people give it shit. They're like, it doesn't make sense. I'm like, yeah, it's not. It's not supposed to be a completely bulletproof, super solid plot, you guys. It's just supposed to be fun set pieces and almost makes sense.
the original Modern Warfare had that moment everybody talks about where
That nuke scene.
yeah, the nuke scene, and this feels like them trying to do the nuke scene but bigger.
Not really, because your character doesn't get mutilated, so it doesn't.
Yeah, but it's like the same kind of really shocking
Yeah,
note.
yeah, but
And
like,
they made a big deal about how we let you skip it because it's too raw.
I mean, they still let people skip in. People were like, how dare they put this in a game? I don't know why Kylo Ren is complaining about. Why is this in my video game?
You gotta take off the thing on the mic and just really get into it.
We need to abandon the ESRB. Destroy it if we must.
Input lag. Where is it?
In this episode of Button to Pixel. Anyway, so you wrote down here in your news stub, Pan-European Game Information. I did not know that's what PEGI stands for.
Right?
Nice.
I had no idea
either.
Thank you. We're all learning.
We're American. Don't worry about it.
Hey, Bob.
What's up?
You got another thing of
I
news.
do.
Let's just knock him out.
Koei Tecmo made a Twitter account for Monster Rancher. The last Monster
Bob
Rancher
is just so incredulous about this.
the last Monster Rancher game was released in 2011 for smartphones.
Fucking what year is this?
It's gonna come back
Basically.
as a Pokemon competitor.
I mean, if they're willing to put budget behind it, I'd be willing to see what they're doing. I want to. Monster Rancher is a neat idea.
Or they'll just make a game version of that terrible anime where the kid with rollerblades kicked monsters in the face.
The anime is pretty raw, yeah.
Okay,
I think I saw half an episode of that anime and just went, this giant eyeball man looks stupid.
Yeah, I
It
couldn't deal with its voice.
Merged together with all the garbage that Fox Kids got around that era, like fucking fighting foodons.
I was really hoping
Flint
that
the
was the
Time
show you were
Detective.
going to mention.
I actually never watched those other two, but Monster Rancher I've seen a few episodes of.
So we got stuff to cover, so we got to keep going. Casey, here under the news, it says you're going to talk about what you ate for breakfast? What'd you eat for breakfast, Pelly?
Number one, I didn't write this. You wrote this. You personally just seemed real interested.
Look, I know what good content is, and I'm trying to bring it to the people.
I had a bagel with some bacon and cheese in it and a coffee.
That sounds pretty solid.
And, yeah.
Wow, that's stunningly adult.
What, were you
It's like
expecting 5 Nutri-Grain bars? I just kept shoving them in my mouth because I kept
I
being
don't know
hungry.
what I expected,
I
but
mentioned
just like
one time that I just got on a Nutri-Grain kick in 2012.
Casey, you explicitly said it was 6 months ago.
Okay, that part was a bit.
But no, that stuck with me because I remembered a time in my life where I ran out of breakfast food and all I had was Nutri-Grain bars, so I ate 3 of them for breakfast one day. And I was like, I can't keep living
Was that
like
last week?
this. No, that was many years ago.
it was probably yesterday. He's lying.
No. Jesus, guys.
I grinded them up, mixed it with Monster to make myself more powerful.
I actually bought a box of Nutri-Grains recently. Those are not good.
No, they're terrible.
They're just like really bad.
They're like I don't even know what to compare them to because they're an axis of bad food, so I compare other foods to them. That's why when KZ said I was on a bit of a Nutri-Grain kick, it literally triggered that exact memory of me eating 4 of them for breakfast that one day and going, what am I doing with my life?
4.
It was bad, man. Because like the point of eating food is to stop being hungry. So what the fuck are you doing with a Nutri-Grain bar?
Eating it.
Eating it just to show God I can.
Num nums.
You're like, hey, God, I'm going to turn this into poop. But, hey, you got some stuff about KH3 here. Let's talk about Cage.
Oh, yeah, in a recent interview, Tetsuya Nomura said that they're doing DLC for the game, which he was kind of cagey about it in recent interviews, saying, I don't know, if we would do DLC, it would be exactly like this, but I'm not saying we're doing DLC. And now he just said, yeah, they're doing some free downloadable content that'll come out whenever it's done. And by the end of the year, they'll have a large paid DLC. And the way he describes it is it's going to be the content that their re-releases of the games usually have. So extra cutscenes, bonus bosses, and extra difficulty. That kind of
That interview was incredible because it was like, can you explain this? Pay attention and you figure it out. Can you explain this? Pay attention and you'd figure it out. Can you explain this? Pay attention and you'd figure it out. It's like that David Lynch interview. Can you explain this? No.
It was that where they're like, there's this specific plot line that happens toward the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. Do you mind, like, explaining this a bit? And he's like, I feel like if as you go through the game that there are plenty of hints that will show you the true nature of this. I appreciate when a creator says, hey, can you just play my game?
Can you use your eyes and ears and not make me spell shit out for you?
Because really, if I spelled shit out for you, then I would have to hold true to that in the sequel. And oh boy, that's restricting. I don't want that.
I think at least one of them, he said, yeah, we're going to be doing some DLC stuff, so maybe it'll become a little bit more clear as to what this is.
You beat the game, and then you hear a kazoo sound, and it has a giant text screen full of text explaining shit.
Oh, so it's like Metal Gear Solid 5.
No. Metal Gear Solid 5 is when you have to go on YouTube to get the actual ending because it was cut.
I got an ending with this game, so I'm guessing it's better than that.
Yeah, as I said, KH3 could have been your Metal Gear Solid 4. There's no way in hell it could have been your Metal Gear Solid 5.
All right, we've had our Metal Gear Solid 5 moment with this game, though. You know how they had those theories of what Chapter 3 is?
Oh, is this about the 350-page long fucking theory about KH3, which I'm not even going to read because I'm 30. I'm going to be 31 tomorrow. I don't read fan fiction.
All right, so I read this theory. It's a 350-page long thing.
Why?
I will give you the idea. This person makes the argument that the Kingdom Hearts 3 we played isn't real. It is, in fact, a dream world version of it, just like Dream Drop Distance. It's very plausible and currently cannot be disputed. I read it. It took me like 40 minutes to read it because it's 350 pages with visual aids, screenshots, and evidence.
Oh, evidence?
Evidence! It is incredible!
I'm going to dispute it with the fact Nomura said, no, that's done. We're not going back to any of it in that same interview.
That is true, but until it is directly disproven, it's not. But it also kind of relates where the characters are at this point. So, once we see what's going on with the characters in a future game, it will immediately disprove that.
So I'm gonna talk to the audience for a minute.
Oh no.
Creators are not invincible god kings that have everything in the entire universe planned out in their super brains at all times.
Yeah, they do.
If your theory required like months of research and a collaboration between 57 people, it probably isn't real.
Yeah, but it's cool. I mean, I just think it's really cool, and I like saying that it cannot be disproven at this moment, because that's hilarious. Because the day they posted it, the next day, their big Kingdom Hearts Ultimania was released, which is a 700+ page book with like concept art and interviews, and that didn't disprove anything.
Was that where we found out that the tutorial of Kingdom Hearts 3 takes place after Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yes. It doesn't.
Of course.
But there's a specific moment in KH3 where they use a similar location as the tutorial, and that's where it takes place. Which I thought that was neat. But yeah, that's your Kingdom Hearts 3 news, and Phil got to be insane with me for a few moments.
Hey, KZ, I see you have some third news story written down here. Can you read it?
Oh, God.
Thank you.
I like how the way he spaces them, it's like he's some kind of video game character running through a row of power-ups.
Oh no, I'm just pretending that I'm Banjo voicing a lot. Banjo Kazooie.
Mm-hmm.
I could do Kazooie.
No, I feel like Feel gets to be Kazooie.
True, he's in my backpack.
Come on now, be nice.
Feel.
Be nice to me.
You got some sort of resounding rejoicement here at the beginning of your news recap.
Yes, but I'm gonna get to news in a second. First, I have a gamer premonition that I want to make.
I can't even stop him from making extra premonitions on our other shows.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But this is my prediction. And
Okay.
I had to make it now because by the time the next episode comes out, DMC 5 reviews will already be out.
Okay.
Oh no.
So, I don't think game reviewers are going to trash DMC 5. I think they're too scared. I think this game will review well, and I think the way that their brains will calculate it, the way they'll work it out is every single thing they like about the game, they will attribute to being taken from DMC Devil May Cry, no matter how flimsy a reach that is. Every single thing. And I'm going to read those reviews, and next week I'm going to call out every single reviewer who does it.
Here's a YouTube channel I want to see. Me doing the Alex Jones voice and just expressing opinions Feel has.
Come on.
They're not gonna review it poorly because they're too afraid. These game journals,
You know what?
they're scared
You know what,
and running in the streets.
That one video of Alex Jones chasing the guy and being crazy is me when I see a gaming journalist. That's true.
Hey, get over here.
Accurate, same energy.
Anyway, but let's get into the joyous news
Yes.
that the Lord and Savior, Mr. Wizard, has struck down the unwashed villains. And Melee is dead. It will not be at EVO.
Okay. Now, I knew this was going to happen because months and months ago he said that this is likely the last Melee appearance last year. Like, that would be the last time they do it because of how difficult it is in general.
And how difficult it is because you need entirely different setups and displays, and then the fucking piece of shit Smash Bros. Whine. Why isn't our game that takes 15 minutes to do one set, why isn't it best of 5 instead of best of 3?
We live in a reality where Smash Melee is out of the big tournament,
Mm-hmm.
and in its place, Under Night in Birth has made it to EVO, which seems insane, even removed from the Melee aspect.
It's also, as of now, the third highest entered EVO 2019 game.
Good.
French bread out there making them, well, not money, but
The day has come for gamers to rise up.
play Melty Blood.
Play Melty Blood.
Here's a funny trivia note that ties into Melee. Most CRTs are full of roaches. Roaches really like CRTs because it's warm inside and dark. And they can get in there easily because there's all those airflow slots in the casing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about bugs.
I just had to bring that up, because nothing to do with Melee. Just, all their displays are filled with filth-ridden insects. I mean, I'm sure that has nothing to do with Melee or the game. It's just an interesting coincidence, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's just
I
how it
think
is.
Melee's cool. I played that game. I was like, oh, look at this.
Melee's great.
Now for
You
the
two in it.
Brawl sucks.
now for the importance, Brawl does suck. I mean, they were right on that.
Yeah.
Brawl sucks even worse because if Brawl hadn't been so terrible, this demon would never have arisen.
Yeah. No, it's true. God.
Yeah.
Fucking
Nintendo made their own demon.
If Brawl had just been slightly worse than Melee,
So
this wouldn't
Sakurai
have happened.
If
If Brawl
Sakurai
kind of
didn't
played like Smash 4,
if Sakurai didn't sit there and go, "Hey, you guys, stop playing my game competitively," like some fucking psychopath who's like, "Stop looking at my wife," and starts making her wear a bag on her face.
Oh no.
What? What he did to that game was not okay to do in the name of I don't want. Right? I don't fucking. It's maybe don't balance your entire experience around just the competitive players, because then you go, oh man, these guys make my game look ridiculously broken and stuff. I have to ruin it. Somebody told us this after we did the Button to Pixel episode on the entire Smash series. Brawl's input lag is random. They hacked it out in the Project M version. Yes. They hacked it out in the Project M version. Apparently, it will just add a frame of input lag at random to make it more fair because it's random. I'm telling you, Sakurai basically went, I saw you dancing with my wife, so I took a hammer to her ankles.
I'm glad once the Switch came around, he finally fully gave up.
Yep.
No, he still didn't. Like, he added that training stage, but it fucking sucks, and there's no playback. Like, it feels like Nintendo put a gun to his head, and he said, I'll do the bare minimum
that doesn't really
take.
feel like he's still trying to push against it. It just sounds like he didn't.
That just sounds like not knowing your user base. That's it.
I feel like he could look at any other fighting game and see.
Yeah, no, he doesn't see his players as fighting game people because
Yeah, but he works, you know, he's contracted by Nintendo. That's a debuff. That's a debuff to any infrastructure for a video game that makes sense.
I feel like Nintendo has been less inhibited by Miyamoto's presence this gen.
Just wait until we see how Mario Maker 2 works.
Fair. Hey, at least it has that quick selected dial. That's pretty fucking smart.
I can't. They better not do that fucking unlocking shit that they did in that first game.
I forgot they had that.
That was. You gotta unlock your tools.
Yeah. What's wrong with that, buddy?
Little Big Planet did that too, didn't it?
Yeah, Little Big Planet did that too. And you know what? I had to listen to that completely. You know what? I was about to say terrible things about that actor, but it's fine. He's a fine guy. He's fine in other things. He's just terrible in Little Big Planet.
Allegedly. So is there anything going on with Anthem?
Well, apparently
This
so.
week. Every week.
So Dan and Bob.
Welcome to the Anthem Minute of the Week.
Random gear, and that's pretty normal in games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you know, and you play World of Warcraft, I'll just use that as an example. There are tiers of gear, and like the really high stuff is completely unique.
Mm-hmm.
But the lower stuff is more
generic,
like randomized, where you can get like the plate gauntlets of the bear and makes your strength and stamina better, or
mm-hmm.
you get the plate gauntlets of the tiger that make your strength and agility better. But they that just changes what stats they buff. It doesn't change the amount, because the amount is determined by the level. But what if the randomness was more random?
Yeah.
What if your highest level things could just have stats of 0 through RNG?
How?
That
How
seems
would you...
impossible.
What if you got a legendary piece of equipment where it said has a 0% chance to make your attacks do 0 additional fire damage for 0 seconds?
That game is so fucking bad.
No, it's really good.
You know, the PS4 version actually has problems where the whole game will crash and then it destabilizes the database in your PS4. So you have to rebuild the database when you reboot your PS4. Like, the game crashes and the PS4 shuts.
How did that?
Because Sony will let people with money fuck you. They will let them fuck you.
Allegedly.
So I'm still waiting to see if this happens. Where, like 6 months ago, I said either Fallout 76 or Anthem will be released and then unreleased.
What, like delisted?
Like, the service closed down for them to fix the worst problems.
Oh man, that reminds me of
Oh.
something else I meant to put on the news and forgot to.
Okay, Bob, what's your late minute of news this week?
Overkill's The Walking Dead is released on Steam and is now canceled.
They canceled
Yeah.
a game that was already out on Steam.
Which means the console versions are gone.
Right? It's just how do you fully release and then cancel it? What's
It's
that
like
mean?
it's like the fucking pediatrician showed up at your child's 1-year birthday and goes, "I'm sorry, they couldn't make it."
And then just shoots them in the face right there.
Wow!
This fucking sounds like Brock from fucking Venture Brothers. I'm sorry, he didn't make it. He just pulls out a fucking giant desert eagle.
Why are so many people good at that voice?
It's a great voice. It's like a lazy boy. Look, it just feels really good to sound like this.
I
Feel you okay?
He's stunned.
let's
So yeah,
let's,
back to a Golden Corral.
yeah. Let's move on. Johnny Cage got revealed for MK11.
I really love that reveal trailer. He's really good.
Yeah,
The
actually,
reveal
that was
trailer-
really good.
The best part of the reveal trailer is since he's old now. I think canonically he'd be like in his 50s or 60s.
Mm-hmm.
He can no longer do the splits.
See, I told
to
you,
punch
Bob.
you in the dick.
Yeah, that was the first thing I
So-
told him after the trailer. I was like, it's so good that he doesn't do the splits. He just
So he gets his stunt double to hold you while he just crouches and punches you in the dick.
yeah.
He has a very boomer energy now.
The best thing is he's not even crouching how you would, athletically, like at the legs or whatever. He's just like leaning forward and only slightly using his legs to crouch. It's so good.
He bends down and uppercuts your dick.
And it's like you could see, like, if he weren't uppercutting your dick, that exact I'm crouching animation would have one of his hands on his back. Like, that's the energy it has going into that uppercut. He's just sort of lurching over. I love it. I love that trailer. That was actually the first one I watched for Mortal Kombat 11, aside from the cinematic one they debuted the game with or announced the game with. That
Oh yeah, with the rap.
I love. Yes.
Let's see.
I love
next
Johnny
month,
Cage in that trailer.
Next month, Paradox Entertainment is revealing some vampire shit. They're probably going to announce a new Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. They teased it, and a bunch of them said, "Watch this date in March, and we'll reveal our big thing." And it's the and they own White Wolf Publishing now, who makes the tabletop games. So it's probably going to be a new Vampire the Masquerade. I really hope that they keep the design theory of the original game in mind, where you can just pick a class that's insane and has entirely different dialogue with everybody, including being able to have a conversation with a stop sign.
That's really good.
Randy Pitchford is a fucking liar again.
Allegedly.
Okay, you wrote this. I don't know what the lie is, but I'm excited to hear it.
He has said that they're going to reveal something big at PAX South, or I think PAX South, whatever one is in March. But he also went around liking and retweeting every single tweet saying they hope Borderlands 3 is at the Game Awards, and then every tweet about the Game Awards he'd respond with 3, and then nothing was there, and it just seemed like he wanted attention. So I don't know why I should trust this one instead of that.
Now,
After that, why should I trust this? Because he's just a sociopath.
I'm willing to believe this would be where he would reveal the next Borderlands, because his series doesn't matter enough to be at a real relevant event beyond a public event like PAX.
Jeff Keighley saw the fucking dabbing robot and he said no.
No, not dabbing. 100%.
Flossing.
150%. If Borderlands 3 ever exists, that trailer will open with fucking Claptrap doing a Fortnite dance.
I disagree. He's ending it with a Fortnite dance.
There will be a Fortnite dance.
There will be a Fortnite dance, Bob.
We will turn into fucking statues watching it.
Why haven't we done a gamer premonitions for the trailer for Borderlands 3?
Because it would all just be cynical and awful.
No,
But it'd be hilarious.
it's
You're right.
16 punches directly to the nuts.
It's hilarious, but then Dan looks and he sees a 2-hour and 20-minute file that's Gamer Premonitions Borderlands 3 announcement trailer.
I'm like, wait a second. I don't remember talking for 2 hours. There's an hour
and
straight
then you
of
see Feels Track has a 25-minute stretch of speaking.
half of the words are allegedly.
That's just me. I'm just saying that in the background over and over again.
I'm waiting for you to add that to your soundboards. Me going, allegedly.
I'm glad you saw that coming.
Borderlands is a video game, allegedly.
Correct.
I'm really excited about this next bit of news. I'm very hyped about this, Feel. I'm really glad you wrote it down.
Ace Attorney.
Yeah. You hear about that, Bob?
Ace
No.
Attorney, I guess it's probably coming to everything. I didn't see if it was coming to PS4 or not. I just saw the PC announcement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's coming to all the major consoles.
The Switch versions they're just putting on everything,
Yep.
which is good.
Which is good. It's the trilogy, so.
Okay.
They should include functionality where if you have a microphone, it can be like the DS versions where you get to yell into the microphone to trigger the
Yeah.
the gameplay shifts.
Mm-hmm. They should be able to do that. Every platform, PS4, Xbox One, and PC, all have mic input abilities. You could have your PlayStation Eye hooked up to your fucking... I mean, PT can use the fucking mic on your goddamn fucking PS4. Why can't this?
Did the DS ports after the first one have that functionality? 'Cause the very first one did. But
I don't know
if the
because
others did.
I've never played these games, and I've really wanted to, which is why I'm so excited about this news.
So they have announced it for US and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's on Steam
Yeah.
already.
Well,
The page is up.
They wouldn't have announced. Nobody's going to announce a PC port just for Japan.
It's true.
It's gonna be $30, so $10 a game at that point.
Yeah, no, that's not bad at all. It's good content, and there's a lot of it.
I'm stunned we didn't have a general news segment for this because it's so important.
Real quick, before we get into this final thing that is the most important news, something I didn't write in my news segment that I meant to cover earlier, and I wanted to cover before we do the Pokemon thing. Weirdly enough, in the new versions of Windows 10, like the preview back versions, they are asking people to play a certain game that was on Xbox, but it was also on PC. But people dug apart the files. They opened them up, and it's the Xbox version, the file structure and everything running on Windows 10 natively. So Microsoft snuck in that final step to actually make their cross Xbox PC work, and they now just are able to work into Windows 10 a virtual machine to run Xbox games, so they can finally bring over the digital games from the Xbox. So that way it's not, hey, get the Xbox Game Pass, where on Xbox you get all these games, and on PC you get Sea of Thieves and Crackdown 3. So that's, right, it's the worst deal ever on PC. On console, it's a bit more reasonable. But yeah, that's actually pretty exciting news. The only problem, if I have to use the fucking Windows 10 store, I may just not even at all engage with this. I hate that fucking...
Right, like that's a deterrent to stop you from buying Halo on PC finally.
Yes, and I think what they're going to do is they're going to launch like an Xbox app, like, store. Like, they're probably just going to be like, well, Windows 10 store didn't work for shit. Because even the fucking servers they're hitting up for these files on the preview program for Windows 10 is from the Xbox servers. So, yeah, I think this is just going to be the Xbox division wholly launching their own initiative on PC because they realize no one fucking wants to use the Windows 10 store for games. Which, yeah, they're right.
Yeah, no, I'd rather even use the Xbox app on there. That is better, and that is already a mess.
Yeah, that thing's a fucking mess, but it's preferable. Okay, and with that out of the way, Mr. Feel, I heard they announced a Pokemon.
Yeah, they announced Pokemon OU and Where's Your License for Switch coming out this fall. I think the shorter versions of the name are Pokemon Sword and Shield. And I'd like to call all of us out for completely fucking missing. We had 4 bullets, and all of them went in completely different directions from this fucking game.
We landed our bullets
Whatever,
around
mine's
it.
Gen 9. It's fine.
Yours
I guess
just move it on over.
The Pokemon aesthetic would require something other than bad teeth and doughiness, and soccer riots, and the girl having Scrooge McDuck's hat, or not Scrooge McDuck. The hell's his name?
Gizmo Duck,
Evil one. No, the evil guy.
Darkwing Duck.
No, it's a good guy.
Flintheart Glomgold. She has Flintheart Glomgold's
What the
health.
fuck were we supposed to?
Look,
how are we supposed to get that? Whatever.
It's a British hat, and it's okay. It's fine.
There's a new Pokemon game.
It's British. Anyway, there's a new Pokemon game. Turns out it's gonna have random encounter battles.
Woo.
Turns out it's gonna feature a lot of Pokemon you've seen before. Turns out it's got 3 starters announced.
It pretty much looks like a Switch version of Sun and Moon.
The lighting and shading and everything. No, like visually, it looks immensely better. The character design and stuff, the aesthetics of it are similar.
It looks upgraded, but it's like you still have a narrow path. Like it still has a fixed camera.
I wouldn't assume it has a fixed camera yet.
There could be areas with and without.
Perhaps.
Seeing people angry that they may not be able to use the right analog stick to move the camera is kind of funny to me.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of beautiful art in this game, so I think it would be a real detriment if you could only view it the way that the camera angle set up. But at the same time, they get to do a sort of composition with that looks really nice. Like that shot of the hill with the weird thing on it.
I think that like the big Switch Pokemon people have wanted since the Switch came out is probably going to be next year. And the reason I think that is I feel like Nintendo was scared, not Nintendo because Pokemon Company makes this. I think Pokemon Company was scared and they were like, what if the Switch just is as bad as the Wii U?
So what
the fuck do we do then?
Two questions. One, you think next year is going to have another Pokemon game and it will be bigger and better than this?
Oh yeah, it's yearly now, so next year we'll have another Pokemon game.
Now I'm gonna shock you. Feel like next year you're getting another Let's Go game, and they're just gonna do Johto.
See,
and they're just gonna start tagging out.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing I'm really happy about is that this looks much better than Let's Go visually. Like, much better. It's not even fucking comparable if you look at the fucking art.
It's using a different style that really helps.
I am not... Bigger and better isn't the term, but I think... Here's the thing. I think Let's Go was absolutely conceived as a 3DS game, and then they went, okay, the Switch didn't bomb, move it to Switch.
I think Pokemon Go took off so late in the game that this was originally conceived as a cheap Switch game, honestly.
Basically, I think that like the next one will be the one where they're like, okay, this was always they didn't have a back door to crush it down onto the 3DS real hard if they had to.
But this doesn't look like that at all. There's foliage everywhere. There's tons of high quality assets fucking all over the screen. The only thing that looks similar to last gen is the polygonal models for Pokemon, which is fine because as we discussed on the show before, the polygons were insane. Yeah. Some of them had more polygons than Lightning. They probably also had a better... Never mind. You know what? Let's just not beat up Final Fantasy 13 universe for one fucking podcast.
No, every single time. Bob did this with his Kingdom Hearts
It's not like it's freaking Final
I
Fantasy 15.
thought you were going to say it's the Bob Dylan of Final Fantasy.
God damn it. But yeah, this game visually looks a lot better than I was worried it would look. But if they do another Pokemon Let's Go of second gen next year, I'm going to be pissed because that just signals that I'm never going to get this level of fidelity for the fourth gen remake. And that makes me livid.
Yeah, no, having a legit fourth gen remake would be really cool. In, like, this level.
Yeah, Sword and Shield actually look really good. The lighting and stuff for the Pokemon in battles is vastly better. Like, if you've seen the Pikachu comparison picture, the fucking Pokemon Let's Go / Sun and Moon model barely has what you would call stylized lighting in the least as shading. Whereas this one, literally, they make it look like the fucking anime with the way they do it. Like, it's really, like, they overhauled that, and then the environments are of a scope that you absolutely could not have done on the 3DS. Like, it looks real nice. Because at first I looked at it and I was like, okay, it's the same visual style, but it looks a little bit better. And then on the second watch through of the trailer, I'm like, okay, this is like, you could not remotely do this on the fucking 3DS. I'm impressed by the variety of levels, areas, terrains that they showed in the trailer. Like, they showed a bunch of different locales in the region. Compare that to older Pokemons where it's like, hey guys, we're going to debut this game by showing a single Pokemon in Koto Koto magazine. Or during this TV slot in Japan where there's 2 minutes of build-up. So yeah, they did a good job. This is the best job they've ever done. What's up, Bob?
I was watching, and a few months ago, I saw like the new Yokai Watch game is going to be on the Switch, and I was like, wow, that looks really nice. That looks better than probably a new Pokemon's going to look. Because that's kind of how the spirit I get behind it after Let's Go.
Yeah.
And then this comes out, I was like, okay, thank you. You look about as good as that new Yokai Watch game. Thank God.
Yeah, it would have been embarrassing if fucking a third party clowned on Nintendo on their own platform.
Right.
I mean, they already did it on DS in Japan.
What was the previous Yokai Watches?
There was a little bit where Yokai Watch, it was like 1 or 2 years where Yokai Watch was outselling Pokemon by a decent clip.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, I don't remember Black and White looking like shit.
I'm just really glad that Let's Go was not the template going forward. That was my biggest fucking fear.
Yeah,
they kept saying it wasn't going to be, and this was definitely...
They say it wasn't going to be, but you can never trust that.
And we were trying to talk you down this whole time. We're like, no, it's fine, Mr. Field. They're not going to do it. And you're like, yes, they are! They're going to fucking ruin everything!
They are. I'm always right all the time. Look at me. I like bagels.
It's still... My fear isn't totally gone until the next one, unless it's a Let's Go game. In the case, it would be Gen 9.
So here's the thing. Here's money. I'm willing to put money on this. I think everyone who's disappointed by the graphics now, or at very least Mr. Feel, will be able to boot the game up when it's fucking done and be like, oh, this looks a lot better than the trailer. Because, you know, Japanese companies, a lot of the time, the encoding in their trailers look like fucking garbage.
Yeah,
so it's really
expect
hard.
The game to look fine.
That game also isn't coming out for 8 more months.
Right, exactly.
I just mean that, like, because Let's Go sold so well, I'm just, like, this game was too far in development to have that stuff crowbarred into it.
Yeah.
So I'm just scared, like, what if they just go, well, Let's Go sold enough, put it in Gen 9 or Gen 10.
Look, all I'm saying is I better not see a Pokemon Let's Go for Silver next year, because that means I am not getting this level of fidelity on 4th gen, which I didn't know I needed it.
You don't want to see Pokemon Let's Go Umbreon and Espeon.
Oh, that'd be sick though. That makes me want that.
No.
But yeah, the trailer ended and I just had the thought of, what if that level of fidelity was applied to 4th gen? And I was like, oh, fuck.
Here's my gamer premonition. If they do Let's Go Johto, it'll look closer to this than Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
I think the Let's Go games, their legacy, if they continue them going forward, is to be cheaper to produce garbage.
I like Let's Go.
Yeah, they want to just make
I like Let's Go too, but you know, it doesn't have the level of polish and it doesn't have the level of how do you say, detail and various other things that that modern mainstream entries are expected to have.
Right, like they took more.
They did
more on those Ruby and Sapphire remakes than they did on Let's Go remake of Gen 1.
Right, Oraz has a lot more cutscenes and things like that, a lot more details and things.
That's honestly one of the things I That was like the thing that I like. If I was okay, if Let's Go has to exist, at least it'll have that stuff, and then it didn't.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe we'll get cool redesigns of the gym leaders. No,
No.
you don't get that.
I'll say one
shit.
thing I liked is that because this wasn't a real remake in the way that they've done them recently, it meant that they didn't shoehorn in hours of extra plot I didn't care about.
Yeah.
So I felt like I could go through it at a decent clip. Anything, I want things as far from X and Y as possible.
Yeah, you're using coded language, but I feel like basically what you're saying is I'm really glad I didn't have to play 3rd gen again because it fucking sucks.
Third gen is so.
What are you talking about? 3rd gen's my favorite.
I don't know how then you can play Oraz and be like, this sucks. This story's gay. I don't understand.
No, I was just talking about modern Pokemon.
I'm just saying.
Like, railroading with story plot stuff. I don't think Oars was nearly as bad as X and Y with that.
I mean,
but maybe it's because I hated every single character in X and Y.
X and Y seems like a design document that could turn literally into a product with no further thought of like, these characters will fill out these archetypes. We haven't thought of scenes to flesh them out into characters.
I fucking hate the Little Rascals group in X and Y so fucking much.
There were so many moments where I knew certain areas had Pokemon that I wanted. And they're like, so what are we going to do in this town? I'm like, you're not on this journey with me. Stop pretending like I like you.
Casey just goes full fucking Vegeta and he's like, I'm not your friend. And then just walks away.
Oh, and then that game has all of your friends getting medals. And I'm like, you did nothing. You did nothing.
Full fucking Silicon Valley CEO KZ. He's like, I earned my way here. You did nothing.
Allegedly.
And then X and Y only even has the one Anga character, which is Malva.
Don't even remember who that is.
Of course you don't. Nobody remembers any fucking X and Y character because they're all nothing and forgettable.
That's fine.
I only
That's
remember
totally
her
fair.
She's Anga.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I wanted to point one thing out. People were looking at the world map, and I saw some people disappointed that gyms are back. I'm pretty cool with it.
They do not appear to be normal gyms anyway. They're soccer stadiums, so you can have a fucking soccer riot afterwards.
Of course.
Yeah, people were looking on the map, and the map only shows, at least in the map itself, 5 gyms so far. Mm-hmm. And they are large stadiums, and some people are thinking that at least one of them is dark type, which is exciting.
I mean, I'm excited for gyms to come back. I didn't really like something about the way Sun and Moon is structured really didn't do it for me nearly as much as traditional gyms. Plus, it also seems like with the giant soccer field thing, they're doing something interesting with it.
They kind of just gave up on one aspect of Sun and Moon's plot by the end of it, which confused me. Where they're
Which element?
They're like, you need to go do the island trials. This is an important thing. But once the actual, like, Pokemon evil team plot went in, your character basically doesn't care about the trials anymore, and you have to go solve that.
Sounds like
they
wanted
just put the trial stuff in the background.
Sounds like they wanted to be the anime.
Well, I guarantee that's going to continue in this game. The anime plot will usurp the Pokemon League stuff. I
think my major problem was there was like no leader for the last like trial, and there's like no fanfare or anything to it. But these are big ass stadiums.
Wasn't the last trial the artist girl?
In Ultra it was. I believe.
She was in the original too.
Yeah, but they gave her a proper trial in the Ultra game where you have to go back and face every single trial captain, and then go back to her and face her.
Okay.
But either way, I think them doing the really huge stadiums that are the gyms is interesting. At least it's similar to the traditional gym structure, but it has reason for me to be more hopeful about it.
I think it'd be cool if it's like a soccer league, and you don't fight like a gym leader, you fight like different trainers that are recurring.
As it stands, I would have been fine if they did the same thing again, because so long as what I'm playing is good, I'm not really looking for them to reinvent the wheel with it. But they definitely look like they're taking the idea of gyms and saying, well, how does this region handle that?
That's all I want. I don't want like gyms to go away, but just put like a coat of paint on them where it's not like they all look exactly like just them looking different from the outside is a big upgrade from every single previous game where they're identical white buildings.
I also like the region being real vertical, so you continue to rise up the region
Gamers.
and the biggest cities at the top.
Okay, so real quick to wrap this up, we need to talk about starters. Bob, who is your starter?
Maybe the water one. I'm not really strong on any of them, honestly.
Bob's waiting to see the evolutions.
Yeah,
I
the
take
evolutions are very important to me. That I've been betrayed before.
Look, I'm going to be betrayed.
You gotta pick it. You gotta pick a team now so you can be betrayed.
Yeah, that's true, Bob. You got to
Alright.
vote now.
Okay, I'll go with the water one. I'll show my bets in on him. Maybe he won't be dumb.
Enjoy Mudkip.
No!
Mr. Field?
Owned. Score Bunny.
Okay.
Oh,
KZ?
Sobble, the water one.
See, Bob, some people know the names.
I couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, I'm going Score Bunny because Pokemon has not made a good bunny to date. The evolution chain in the past has been tragic, and we have enough fucking monkeys. God, the fuck were they thinking?
Also,
we
the
have like
past
16
Okay,
monkeys.
Bossman.
We had
Bossman.
dude. What was it? 5th gen, 6th gen, 6 monkeys.
The first, which one was it where the first gym was just all monkeys?
What the?
That was Gen 5.
Yeah,
I
because
don't-
there was the 3 different types of
Black and
elemental
white.
monkeys.
Yeah, the elemental monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have 6 right there. First gen had a fucking monkey. Infernape's a fucking monkey. Apom's a fucking monkey. And then Lopunny's a fucking... Wait, no, Lopunny's a bunny.
Like, wait, what?
I just... Sorry, this rant started...
Charizard's a monkey.
This rant started bleeding over into the other one where I was pissed about how poorly the bunny has gone in the past. So I need Score Bunny to work out for me.
Pokemon bunnies are fine.
No.
But you know what the bigger problem with the monkey is? He's a grass type, and grass sucks.
I feel like if you keep saying statements like that, Dr. Aggro may be invited on this podcast to debate you.
He can debate me. Tied for the most weaknesses and tied for the most things resistant to it. Grass sucks.
Look,
It's the worst type in the game.
if your Pokemon needs to take advantage of other Pokemon's weaknesses, that's not true strength.
Okay, Dan, that's a completely valid tactic. I used to be 12. I'd bash through things my Pokemon was weak to with raw numbers. Grass Pokemon also have the worst stats.
Yeah, no, they do. It's really tragic. And to be honest, it's been the number one argument in my brain for, fuck it, they should start over.
Stop it.
No, dude, grass gets such a fucking... it's so fucked every time, but it's fine.
Grass
I thought you were
types
about to
have-
go become Scottish for a second.
There's still really good grass types aesthetically, at bare minimum. Turtwig is incredible.
Aesthetically, yes.
Torterra is also incredible.
I picked the grass starter in X and Y, and I benched him by the end of the game. I boxed him because it's just, when do I use him? There's just
When he's
never
fully evolved
any.
and he's like the big dude.
Yeah, but when do I use? What do I use him against? There's nothing.
Hey, Bob,
Hey, what's up?
help me out here. Who the fuck is the grass starter from
I
6th
can't
gen?
remember.
It's the like the rodent guy who becomes the big giant armored
Oh,
dude.
Chespin.
Oh, okay.
He
yeah.
started so good, and then he
Yeah.
fucking...
Yeah, he was so cool
There.
when he was Chespin. Same was Bunnelby.
There's all the starters. I just used that template of which ones I used.
Rowlet is better than a lot of them because he turns into a ghost type.
Oh,
yeah.
Rowlet's great because fucking look at him.
Yeah,
Rowlet's
and
a-
Rowlet's incredible.
I went
I
with Litten because Litten's raw.
Yeah, Linton's lit.
these starters this time, honestly, I feel like I'm not as nearly as attached to him as the last 3.
Bob, I would seriously, this would turn into a 3-minute straight rant about these fucking designs of Score Bunny didn't exist.
Yeah, the other two
Their
have
heads-
a very Gen 3-esque energy, which had the worst starters of all.
Yeah, they have the most like meat bun shaped head, fucking spheroid, void of all identity and interesting attributes. I don't like them, but I will
Please don't bully Sobble. He's my son.
Sobble.
I feel
Sobble's
like
my
Oh
Sobble's
no,
my
KZ is
second.
a meme.
Sobble is my second fave because he's got a good energy, and I like his energy.
Dude, people just showed his art next to Shia LaBeouf just going, just do it. It's the same energy.
I don't.
It's true. It's the same pose.
Maybe if Shia LaBeouf was crying during that.
Have you seen the Powerpuff Girls theory?
Yes, it's pretty good. I like it.
I like that he the Max from Sam & Max is what the bunny is, like literally.
Yeah, I think his third evolution is Roger Rabbit, and I'll tolerate it.
They just made a rabbit Pokemon with heating pads on its paw pads, and I can't handle that.
And then they're gonna betray Dan, and the Score Bunny's third evolution will be like a Megalopunny and have like stockings and shit.
I'm dying.
Hey Dan, what's up?
I just, every time Pokemon starts out with a pretty nice design and makes it go south, it's just depressing.
I don't know what you mean. That's a fantastic design. Megalopunny is incredible. What you got going on this week, Dan? Let's not linger on me making that statement at all.
Okay, well,
I like
before we go with Pokemon, Bob, what's your expectations of this game? You optimistic? You pessimistic? You somewhere in between?
Oh, I'm optimistic. I'm really excited for where they can go with this.
Yeah, I'm also pretty optimistic. The things they showed me were just the right things. Where I think this is going to be a good one. I think this is going to be the best one since 5th gen. Mr. Field, what do you think?
I think it's going to be good. I really hope they continue having an actual plot theme, and I'm just going to pack pretty art and music down my face hole while using experience share to not have to struggle at all.
The director of this one is the one that did all the plot ones on the 3DS. So like the original Sun and Moon, X and Y, and Oris, it's the same director, Omori.
That's not encouraging, but okay.
It will be filled with nonsense that I'm excited for.
I want the Pokemon equivalent of Brexit.
Okay, and we're going to do a single Pokedex entry. You guys ready? Or we're going to do a single premonition.
Oh, no.
Is there going to be a national Pokedex with proper numbers and shit in this motherfucking game? Like, is there going to be the one where it has every fucking... Because they didn't have that in Sun and Moon. I think they may have added it in Ultra.
No, I don't. I think even Ultra didn't have it.
It didn't have the global Pokedex.
Yeah, pretty sure that James is still upset.
Yeah, he's still fucking on fire from years ago. He's so pissed.
I'm looking forward to the regional variants.
I don't play any of these post games, so I don't even know what you're talking about.
Catching them all.
Yeah, I'm talking about...
don't do that. Fuck
talking
that.
about being
There's like
a winner.
800 of them now. Eat shit.
Look, I just want the game to be aware of what's in my team. I don't need question marks for its number. That's stupid. Whatever. I'm not going to worry about it.
Do you think Sean Connery is going to be in this game?
Do I think Sean Connery will be in this game?
Yeah.
Sure. He'll be up in the Highlands.
He's going to have the outfit from Highlander.
Yeah.
Gonna do it.
He's going to be like, welcome.
Check out my Masamune sword.
I like your impersonation. It's very Shrek. You got a real strong Shrek energy.
Big fan of Bob's impression of having a cold.
Yes.
That's a good Pokemon you got there. What am I up to in the next week? Yeah. Well, as I understand, giving games a chance, the Bouncer is actually going to come out.
I don't believe it.
No time. I don't.
Will that be true of KZ too?
No.
I pray that a time vampire won't be dropped on my fucking lap again this week. As for other content coming out next week, I don't want to talk about it that early. So just keep an eye out. KZ, what do you got coming on in the next week?
Let's see. If I'm alive, we'll be doing our usual Friday evening Smash stream. I'll have to see if I'm alive, and then I'll have to grab people for that.
Sounds good.
Use some good tactics like Piranha Plant and his ball, his very fair ball, and his very fair Final Smash.
Oh yeah, he's real balanced, and I love him.
Yeah, just like Zelda.
Mhm.
And we've started the endgame stuff for KH3 in the Let's Play of that. So we're going to be going through that. That will be ending like in less than 2 weeks. I may do a couple of bonus videos for some of the extra stuff, and that'll be fun. But then the dark game begins. But
Oh, what's that?
we can talk about that later. No need to talk about things that are too far off since we do a weekly podcast.
Oh, okay. Okay,
And,
sounds good.
yeah, I'm just kind of relaxing at this point since I finally got the busy work of the Let's Play done early.
Nice.
Relaxing before the dark time of the.
Shh.
Don't speak its name.
Don't say it. You should censor the when he says it. It's dark.
Okay.
It's don't say it, don't think it, don't say it, don't think it. The bounce man.
I hate you. Phil, what you got going on this week?
So nothing, but there was a news story I forgot to bring up.
What's up?
So if you listen to this long, congratulations, you get the secret funny news story of the director of DOA 6 saying, "Yeah, we're patching in Super Titty Jiggle after the game comes out." We
What?
just fucking lied to every game journalist's face. Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that's absolutely. He just came out and said we're patching in boob jiggle.
Good?
Now I would also.
Was it not ready for launch?
No, it's a whole new system of boob jiggle.
Oh my god.
That's exciting.
This is hilariously bad.
Is it above the soft engine or whatever they used to call it?
I don't...
It's
Bob,
doughy.
Bob, the only way this will really work is if you go into the option screen and change your age to 99.
Okay.
That's the only way it'll be maximum perv.
Otherwise, it's just not old enough.
There's another bonus thing that I felt like bringing up because it just occurred to me. That Devil May Cry 5 trailer is really good.
Yeah, they released one final
It came
trailer,
out.
and they're like, "This is spoilers. Don't watch this if you don't want to be spoiled."
I didn't watch it.
And I absolutely think it's deceptively cut.
Okay, I'm just going to remove my headphones. Everyone have a good podcast. Bye.
I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna say that there's a thing that people talk about, and I think that thing is cut in a way to make it seem the opposite of how it actually is.
Yeah, I don't think that. I think you're right, Phil, and I also don't think it's as spoilery as I expected the final trailer to be. Like, there's some new stuff for sure.
I do have a Devil May Cry thing that I was the opposite of cucked by time. What's the opposite of being cucked by time?
I don't know what do you have?
Apparently in Chinese footage, they, the big like walking gear monster that Nero chases.
Yeah.
And it's like shooting that's just Gilgamesh.
Oh yeah. What did you say related to Gilgamesh?
I said that we'll get the bosses from DMC4 of Dante's that were cut.
I forgot that thing was called Gilgamesh, because God, all the weapons in DMC4 are just.
And apparently,
plain
there's one for the laser wings too that was in Chinese footage.
Oh my God. What are you doing now? Go and watch all these spoiler videos.
They were official things they released.
Yeah, in China, nobody's watching that.
And I didn't go watch
I
them.
watched a mixer stream of Dante gameplay.
Yes,
I didn't go find this. Somebody just immediately DM'd me like, hey, you were right.
Great. Feely wins one.
That's fine. You won. You got 8,800 votes, so you actually won.
That's
no matter
true.
no matter who's right, you still won.
I got infinite, like 90% plus votes. It was good.
Nobody can beat that. Although another funny thing is the DMC Info account is slowly translating the book,
Yes, which is great.
and Lucia is just in there.
Yeah, no, Lucia's like one of the main characters.
Right.
So
I'm very excited for our Devil May Cry 5 Premonitions Part 2 to come out next week. Something I should have mentioned back in that what's coming out next week section, but oops.
I'm very can I say that we're doing a spoiler cast? Just edit this out if
Yeah, go ahead.
But,
Go ahead.
I'm very excited for the post DMC5 launch spoiler cast, which will hopefully be one episode, but we might be insane and might end up like the Kingdom Hearts one.
hopefully we don't go that insane.
We need to break down everything on the last 3 missions in detail. Dan's sweating.
Dan went on vacation. He added to those first, right? No.
Well, KZ, I have wonderful news.
What? Oh no.
I have often thought about just the hilariously cruel possibility of like Dan is sick or something and can't record this, but then there's files for him to edit when he gets better.
Uh-huh. What do you mean when I get better? I'm just gonna be sitting there with like 100+ degree temperature, just being like, need to get done, must finish edit.
One of these days, Dan is not going to be well enough to do a podcast, and it's just going to be me and Phil, and it's going to be the most pleasant 80-minute podcast ever.
That is bullshit. Phil is still on the podcast.
Yeah, but I'll cut out when he gets started.
Oh, no,
Okay.
sir. You do not get to go on 30-minute long tech tangents and then blame me for the length.
I'm not blaming you exclusively. I'm just saying until you are removed as well as myself, the podcast will still be way too long, which is a good description for this episode. Thank you for watching. See you guys next time.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. This show, like our other podcasts, is only possible with the generous time our co-hosts have given to us and the equipment we bought to make it higher quality and easier to produce. Please consider supporting our podcast series on our GigaBoots podcast Patreon, and look forward to more gamer premonitions and Big Think Dimension in the future.
Okay, Bob.
What's up?
We're doing it.
What am I supposed to say at the beginning of this? Like the
You're supposed to say that this is the GigaBoots executive producers. So you're supposed to thank them.
This month's GigaBoots executive producers for February 2019 are Vincent Poverk, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Brendan O'Sullivan, Star Falcon,
Even if you say it right now, it's that one.
Spaceman Spiff, Prince Van Space, Danny Richardson, Dryzart, Wardonis, Shadow in the Darkness, and Shadow in the Darkness. Thanks to our executive producers, and also these guys. Oh man, where'd they go? They're so quick. You think they'll be back?
No. Tell them they can go to patreon.com/gigaboots today.
Go to gigaboots.com and become a patron. Yeah, you can go to GigaBoots. You can go to patreon.com and become a patron of GigaBoots.
We're letting you do that. You're welcome.
It was great. It would be great. Thank you for doing it. I'm sure you've already done it.